In order for you to become successful, I mean wildly successful in life, you've got to understand your value first. You've got to understand that there is no one else like you that can accomplish the things that you can accomplish. Once you understand your value and you understand your uniqueness, and then you realize that you just need to make a decision. You need to make the decision that you are going to be a success. What if you start out and you are not successful on the first try? So what? Most people that were wildly successful in life actually failed once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and sometimes even more than that. It just means that you have to keep going. You have to continually fix on what you want out of this life, and that starts with your thoughts. You've got to believe what you want is capable of coming true. So it's all about setting your sail, fixing your thoughts, knowing what you want, believing and desiring it, knowing that it is possible, completely possible, and then taking the step to go out and do it. And yes, you're going to learn how to goal set, and yes, you're going to learn how to do all the things that are necessary to do. But you've got to start with believing that it's possible. Instead of making excuses, instead of saying, well, it didn't work for my friend, or oh, it didn't work for my brother. And I have had people tell me that I could be successful, but everything I do fails. You're talking yourself out of it. So let's start with positive affirmation, positive self-talk. Basically saying the right things. I am a success. I am able to do anything I try to do. You know what? You're not going to believe it at first. When you say those words, they're going to sound very tinny in your ears. And you're going to think, why am I saying that? I don't really believe it. But you say it long enough, you continue to self-affirm long enough, and eventually you're going to believe it yourself. It's going to go down into your subconscious, and you're going to actually believe that you are successful and that you will be successful and that you can do anything you put your mind to. That's the beauty of thoughts, positive thoughts. I want to tell you a little story on the power of thought. This story is based many years ago in Edison's era. And there was a man named Edwin C. Barnes. It's a famous story. You may have heard it before. Edwin C. Barnes wanted to be a business partner of Thomas Edison more than anything else in the world. He had his dream fixed on being Edison's partner. He didn't know Edison. He'd never met Edison. He didn't even have any mutual friends that Edison knew. But he wanted to be his business partner. So he said he would. He said, I'm going to do it. Somehow I'm going to be the business partner of Thomas Edison. He didn't have the money for the fare to go and see Edison. He didn't have proper clothes to go for an interview with Edison. But he didn't let that stop him. He basically went by blind baggage. That's catching a freight train. He jumped a freight to go and visit Thomas Edison. By the time he arrived at Edison's door, he was tangled, disheveled, dirty, smelly, and he knocked on Edison's door and said, Mr. Edison, I've come, I want to be your business partner. And Edison, of course, turned him away and said, well, I don't see how this could work. And he did offer him a job. He offered him a menial job doing menial labor where he was working. And so he started working for Edison. But he didn't let that discourage him. He believed with everything in his heart that this was just the first step to him becoming an actual full-on business partner with Thomas Edison. He talked about it in his head every day. He'd think about it. He would think about how it would feel to be Thomas Edison's partner. And he just continued to believe it. Well, many years went by, and he was still working for Edison rather than being a partner of Edison's. But he still believed that it was there for him, and it was close and getting closer. Finally, one day, an opportunity presented itself that he could actually make a deal to sell something that Edison was selling that Edison needed marketed. No one else quite knew how to market this item that Edison wanted marketed. Edwin C. Barnes thought, I can do that. I can market that product. So he went to Edison with a proposal, and he said, this is how I plan to do it, and this is how many we're going to sell, and this is what we'll do. And Edison took him up on it and said, let's do it. Go ahead. Prove it to me. And Edwin C. Barnes did just that. He not only marketed the product, but he marketed it in a phenomenal way. He sold more than Edison could have ever believed that he could sell, and he became a full-on business partner with Thomas Edison. Within just a few years, he was one of the wealthiest men of his day. Now, what if Edwin C. Barnes had, when Edison told him no, back in the beginning, had said, no, I'm not going to be your business partner, if he had gone tail between his legs home, caught the freight train home, and gone back to obscurity? Would Edwin C. Barnes ever have basically fulfilled his dream? No, because he would have taken no for an answer, and he would have been discouraged and quit. Quitters always fail. It's the people that push through, believing in themselves, affirming themselves with the positive thoughts, and continually believing that what they want is theirs. They believe it. What they want is theirs, and it will become true. Wow. What a story. What a story. Let's go out there and grab our dreams.